If you have some traffic, but really poor conversion, then congratulations. You are just one task away from making a lot of money in ecom. In this video, I will lay out the exact process to double the conversion rate of your online store minimum. Oh, and I'll also be sharing a list of tested changes that you could make to bump up your sales and revenue overnight. This exact framework has helped me build an ecom store from my university dorm room to become an ASOS.com partnered brand. And I've since helped over 100 founders and startup teams make millions of pounds from something that is called growth hacking. The world doesn't really seem to teach you this stuff, but if you actively learn it, be prepared to grow at a much faster pace. So let's jump into it. I said a term there, growth hacking. What is that exactly? It sounds like you're breaking all the rules of business and you're hacking into the matrix. And although that would be much cooler than the actual truth, unfortunately, I can't do anything even close to coding. And I guess luckily that means you don't need to either. Growth hacking is a way of pushing a company's growth metrics, usually in quite an unconventional way. And I guess that's why from the outside, it can look like hacking. When in reality, all it is a framework and a repeatable process that you can apply to any business type. And before you get confused, the reason I'm telling you all this is because the growth hacking framework and the conversion rate optimization framework are the same thing. And we will get to that framework just after we look into why you should choose conversion rate optimization over all the other things on your to-do list. Well, CRO is one of those very unique projects in business where if you get this right, it will have positive effects to every other aspect in your business. It is the easiest way to have a high impact on the amount of sales your store is getting. Some people might call it high leverage activity. Some people might say that the risk reward ratio is very healthy. I'm just going to say this. If you double your brand awareness, do you double your revenue? Not really. If you double the people on your mailing list, do you double your revenue? Not directly, no. If you double your conversion rate, you do actually double the amount of money in your bank account. And it's not even that hard. This is the exact system I put clients through to double or more their conversion rate. Oh, and you can always download a copy of your own framework in the link below. Step 1, implement a full tracking system. Before you do anything else, we need to make sure that we are capturing data. This whole process is about measuring data and making decisions using it. We want to set up completely free tools like Google Analytics 4. We want to set up a free version of Hotjar or similar. We want to connect up Google Search Console. And we need to figure out a way to do A/B testing. So whether that's an app in Shopify, an A/B testing app, or maybe a plugin in WordPress, depending where you are. And before you go there, because I've heard lots of people ask me this question, why can't I just measure the amount of sales I get? If you make changes to your homepage and your sales don't go up, and therefore you decide that the changes you made to your homepage didn't work, there's actually a million other factors on the customer's journey from where they are all the way through to purchase that could have affected that. And so if we're only measuring the end metric, we won't know at what point in that process the changes worked and didn't work. So yes, please set up all these tracking platforms first. Step 2, we want to set our baseline metrics. Using all of the data platforms that we've connected, we want to see where our store is currently at. I'm sure you already have a good idea of that from your Shopify dashboard or whatever platform you're on. We want to track the current conversion rate, the average order value, the average engagement time, the bounce rate, everything that is important in the customer's journey to purchase. Mainly because we want to figure out which metrics are actually important and which ones we don't really need to care about. And just to set your own scores against the industry average e-commerce conversion rate as of 2025 is around 2.1%. So either you are aiming to get to that number or you've already hit that number and you are trying to be the best in the business. On to step 3, mapping a clear customer journey. This is one of my favorite things in marketing and in business. Mapping out a customer journey from them not knowing about you all the way through to them purchasing again and again. We want to break down every single step of the funnel into touch points. So where did they originally come from? What pages did they land on? What forms did they fill out? What videos did they watch? And then what products did they buy? You'll need to map this customer journey nice and clearly so that we can find bottlenecks and friction points a little later on. Every bottleneck and friction point is an opportunity for you to make more sales with one simple fix. So it's quite exciting trying to find problems in that journey. Customer journeys are a big, juicy subject themselves. So I have a video in the works that is dedicated solely to them. For now, just use the customer journey template provided in the link below. Okay, step 4 is finding the problems and the opportunities to fix them. We want to go through your customer journey and list out every possible reason that somebody might not continue from one step to the next. Is there inconsistent copy? Is there a very slow page load? Are the shipping costs hidden until the end like a nasty little surprise? Do the product images not really fit the rest of the page? There could be so many things on this list. And no idea is too small. Your job is to identify as many problems as you can and write a big long list of them. Now you've got a big list of problems, I want you to write a solution for each of them. We will get to testing them soon, so you don't need to be right. Step 5. Now you've got a huge list, we want to prioritize which ones to actually do first. You either know this by pure instinct and you just need to get started, or if you've got too many to choose from and you don't know where to start, then we can use this scoring system. For each of these ideas, we can rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 for these 3 things. So first up, impact. How big is the upside? Is this a major thing? Is this a minor thing? 1 being small, 10 being massive. Confidence. So how confident are you that you believe that this is the right solution and that this will make a big difference to your conversions? And ease. So how easily can you get this done? By the way, I got this framework straight from the book Growth Hacking by Sean Ellis, and I strongly recommend this as a read for anybody with an online store. Add up the totals of all the scores and prioritize them. Okay, step 6, this is where we get to work. We want to run the test and measure them. Weekly tests to fix each of the biggest problems at the top of the list. Make sure you track each of your tests, so which weekly tests you are doing and what change it actually made. This is vital so we don't end up going round in circles, repeating ourselves. And the main thing is here, we are looking for patterns. Each week, I want you to pick 1 to 3 experiments to test as long as they are not on the same page. Never test a bunch of things at once on the same page, because when you have a positive impact, you won't know why or how to duplicate that to the other pages. Now, people always seem to ask, how long do I test for? And there's no definitive answer for this. The more traffic you have, the shorter time frame you can test for. But if it takes a couple of weeks to get a few hundred people through this exact page or function that you're testing, then you need to wait a little bit longer. We like to aim for nice weekly sprints, so we have the same meeting at the same time every week, blocked out in the calendar. So weekly tests are our aim. If you want to speed up this process, then you can pump some paid ads directly to each of the changes and you will get your answer a lot quicker. At the end of each test, once you have the answer within the data, you decide whether it is a step forwards or a step back. You're either keeping it or you're binning it. Pro tip, if the answer isn't completely definitive, then always revert back to what it was before. A few days or 1 week of data based around this new change isn't as safe as the months of baseline data that you collected before making the change. So it's essentially never worth the risk to keep the new version. If your current conversion rate is currently very low, i.e. below 1%, don't be afraid to make some really bold changes at the start. And if your conversion rate is slightly healthy right now and it's all about optimization, then make minor changes. You'll be so surprised what a different background color can do to your conversion rate. Struggling for ideas for experiments or solutions to your problems? Don't worry. There is a big list coming up in the next section of proven changes that you can make yourself. In CRO, the goal isn't just a quick win. It's to learn what works and to learn your customer behavior so that you can apply that to all other pages and all other processes in your business. And the key thing to remember here is that progress is small and regular. Yes, you might get some wins that have a 40% increase in your conversion rate, but they're likely not going to come thick and fast until you get really good at understanding your customer's journey and understanding why they take certain behaviors. In this process, we're hoping for about a 5% increase in conversion rate each test, or each week if you're doing weekly tests. This means that you will double your conversion rate in just 14 weeks, which isn't long at all. And even after that phase, don't stop there. If you keep this habit going, you will end up overtaking everybody in your industry. And because you've got the healthiest website, you can spend less on marketing, but still beat all of your rivals on the scoreboard. It's a good feeling. Okay, here's what you've been waiting for. After working with over 100 startups, I have collected a list of very common mistakes that early stage founders tend to make that harms their conversion rate. You can shortcut all of these mistakes by testing each one of these. Starting off nice and obvious, the CTA has to be above the fold. I see so many ecom stores with a lovely big hero banner and then a menu at the top, but there's no clear CTA button, so it's not clear as a new customer what journey you want me to take. Next up, one of the most powerful tools you've got is social proof. Especially for early stage companies, you need as much credibility as possible. Proof that you are who you say you are and that people love you and they love your products. We can do this using Trustpilot badges, video testimonials, user-generated content so that people can see your products in real people's hands. I want you to spread as much of this across every single step in your customer journey as possible, so that by the time it gets to purchase, they're already feeling very comfortable. And especially on your product page, right next to the add to cart or buy now button, social proof in that little area is extremely important. Speaking of the buy now button, add trust signals and badges as close to it as you can. Money back guarantees, free returns without questions, trusted supplier, blah, 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 blah. I once added some trust badges under our main buy now button and it boosted add to carts by about 20%. Straight away, easiest thing we could have done. Use honest urgency tactics. And when I say honest, please don't go and put a countdown timer on your product page that starts again when the customer refreshes it. I'm talking about true, actual urgency, like order before 3 p.m. for same day dispatch, or showing how many products you've actually got left in stock if you're not holding tons of product. There is usually a way of creating urgency in a completely transparent and honest way. It can be very icky and the customer can usually see through it if you're not being completely honest. Okay, change your CTA placement, size, color, font. It's quite a lot of ideas in once, but let's just see this main button as the most important button on your website. It needs to be so clear to the customer what actions they need to take to continue down their journey to purchase. So test CTAs with larger fonts, brighter colors, more direct central placement. Have you thought about exit pop-ups with lead magnet forms attached? So you've probably thought about newsletter pop-ups when people come onto your site and scroll to a certain point of the page. But if your customer is showing signs of fatiguing or that they're going to leave the website soon, have you thought about an exit pop-up where you throw completely free value, try and collect some data before they're gone forever? Here's a mistake I see a lot of early stage founders making a lot. Displaying your shipping costs at the right time. Or even better actually, just make it free and include it in the main price. I pretty much doubled my orders the second I put free shipping onto my first company's website. And obviously the increase in revenue more than made up for the fact that I then had to pay more for shipping myself. But you have to do the calculations for you. If you can't offer free shipping for whatever reason, we just need to figure out at what point in the journey it is best to tell the customer how much it's going to cost. We do want them slightly emotionally attached to the product, but we don't want it to be a nasty surprise at checkout because that really creates that horrible feeling that I'm sure we're all very aware of. Okay, just a few left. Number 8, show people your best sellers. Essentially, humans are like sheep and they hate making decisions for themselves. Just tell them what everybody else is choosing and then make it seem like they're about to run out. Next up is simplifying the journey. Every single click that you have between your customer finding you and your customer making a purchase or entering their card details reduces the traffic by 16%. That means we want to remove unnecessary pages, definitely, unnecessary fields in any forms that you have, unnecessary buttons that they need to click. Just look at Amazon, for example. They make it so easy for you to go from their homepage to checking out. Emulate that. And finally, the guest checkout button. It's known as the $300 million button. The internet's not exactly sure who's invented it first. It was either Target or Amazon. But removing the need for inputting your data and creating an account, i.e. introducing a guest checkout button, made Target $300 million more in just one single year. Essentially, account creation equals abandoned checkouts. Okay, so you've written down all of your problems, potential solutions, and you know which one to start with. The framework that I've run through today is available for a completely free download in the link below. It's time to think about scaling your marketing channels and bringing in as much high converting traffic as possible. And here's a video fully breaking down how to find the perfect marketing channel for you. Click that there and we'll continue the conversation.